Netanyahu faces mounting pressure over Gaza tensions ahead of a high-stakes D.C. visit as Trump signals strong support for peace deal. Washington, D.C., September 29, 2025. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arrived in Washington on Sunday under intense international scrutiny to scale back Israel's military operations in Gaza just hours before a critical White House meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump. The discussions, set for 11 a.m. EDT, focus on a U.S.-backed peace proposal aimed at halting the nearly two-year conflict that has killed over 66,000 Palestinians. Trump has hinted at a special breakthrough, emphasizing robust U.S. support for a deal to secure the release of remaining hostages and stabilize the region. The visit comes at a precarious moment for Netanyahu, whose government faces growing global isolation. Last week, Spain, Ireland, and Norway formally recognized Palestinian statehood, intensifying calls for an immediate ceasefire and prompting sharp criticism from Jerusalem. At home, Netanyahu grapples with protests from families of the 48 hostages still held by Hamas and divisions within his right-wing coalition, where hardliners demand the total destruction of the militant group before any agreement. "We have a real chance to achieve something great in the Middle East," Trump posted on social media late Saturday, blending optimism with subtle pressure on his ally. Gaza conflict at a critical juncture. The war in Gaza began on October 7, 2023, when Hamas launched a surprise attack on southern Israel, killing over 1,200 people and abducting over 250 hostages. Israel's retaliatory campaign has since devastated the enclave, with relentless airstrikes and ground operations reducing much of Gaza City to ruins. Palestinian health authorities report at least 66,000 deaths, including thousands of children, and warn of a looming famine as aid deliveries falter amid the violence. Overnight into Monday, Israeli forces conducted heavy bombardments in Gaza City, killing at least 23 civilians according to local medics, underscoring the conflict's unrelenting toll even as diplomacy accelerates. In his defiant United Nations General Assembly speech last Friday, Netanyahu rejected ceasefire demands, vowing to continue until Hamas is dismantled. Privately, however, Israeli officials have expressed concerns about the U.S. peace proposal, worried it could allow Hamas to persist or weaken Israel's security. Netanyahu has no mandate to accept a deal that leaves Hamas intact, a senior Likud party source told Reuters anonymously, highlighting the political challenges he faces. Trump's peace push, a path forward. Monday's talks center on a comprehensive U.S. proposal, details of which surfaced over the weekend, outlining steps for de-escalation, reconstruction, and governance in Gaza. Developed with Arab and European input, the plan envisions Gaza as a demilitarized zone focused on economic recovery. It calls for an immediate ceasefire, the release of all 48 living hostages and remains within 48 hours, and Israel freeing hundreds of Palestinian prisoners in exchange. The proposal offers amnesty for non-combatant Hamas members, safe passage for others to third countries, and excludes Hamas from future governance. It also mandates 600 daily aid trucks, rubble clearance, and infrastructure rebuilding under UN and Red Crescent oversight. A transitional Palestinian technocratic government would operate under international supervision, with an Arab-led stabilization force training local police. Israel would commit to no occupation or annexation, and Gaza would see economic incentives like reduced tariffs to spur investment. Trump, who has hosted Netanyahu multiple times during his first term, described the plan as a game changer in a Sunday Fox News interview, noting close alignment with Israel on its core elements. He has reportedly bolstered the proposal with offers of enhanced U.S. military aid and intelligence sharing if Israel adheres to the timeline. Critics, however, doubt its viability. Hamas has rejected it as surrender disguised as peace, while Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas insists on genuine statehood beyond reconstruction. On X, reactions range from cautious hope, a real shot at greatness, one user wrote, to skepticism, with some dismissing it as a Trump Riviera plan to turn Gaza into a luxury resort hub. Wider regional and political dynamics. The summit occurs amid shifting regional dynamics. With Iran's proxies in Lebanon and Yemen escalating attacks, Netanyahu is seeking renewed U.S. commitments to Israel's northern front, even as the Gaza war strains resources. For Trump, a Gaza deal would be a major foreign policy victory ahead of the 2026 midterms, reinforcing his America First agenda. Analysts warned that failure to reach an agreement could embolden extremists on both sides, prolonging Gaza's humanitarian crisis. This is the pressure point, said Aaron Boxerman of the New York Times. Netanyahu's cornered, isolated abroad, besieged at home. As the leaders meet, the world watches closely, with Gaza's future hanging in the balance.